Well, it's January, and we know what that means. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. I finally got the chance to see the 355. It's a little late because I've been snowed in for a couple of days. Still a lot of snow on the ground, but I trudged my way to the theater to see it. Was it worth risking my life? Let's talk about it. When a top-secret weapon falls into mercenary hands, a wild-card CIA agent joins forces with 3 international agents on a lethal mission to retrieve it, while staying a step ahead of the mysterious woman who's tracking every single move. Starring the likes of Jessica Chastain, Penelope Cruz, Diane Kruger, Edgar Ramirez, Sebastian Stan, and a plethora of really great talent. That was one thing that intrigued me about this film going into it. I said, I like the cast. Oh, Lupita Nyong'o as well. How could I forget her? But I saw the trailer, and I said, well, let's see how this goes. And let's start with what worked about this movie. Again, the cast, they are, I guess, as charismatic as you need them to be, even though the writing for who they are and kind of their role in the film isn't great. I did like the presence of someone like a Lupita Nyong'o, who has one moment about 3/4 of the way into the movie that was genuinely great. And there is also a scene where they're sitting around and kind of talking about their past experiences, what led them to this point. And that's the moment in the movie where I looked at it and I said, that's what I wish this movie would have been. It says from the producer of Jason Bourne, but I never felt that grittiness, that darkness, the emotion that you get from someone like that character. We've seen this genre countless times, and we've seen teams formed and characters built and some fun action scenes that come from that. I mean, I would have loved this movie to give me a badass group of women finding this very cliched MacGuffin, taking down this organization. At that point, I don't even care what the plot is. Just give us compelling characters. But other than those handful of scenes and a few moments where the acting genuinely shines through the script, this film is dull. It's really, really dull. There just isn't much to it. And what we attempt to get from some of these moments is overshadowed by the extremely poor editing, the choreography that's genuinely good, but it's covered up by the filmmaking that doesn't allow us to see some of these fight scenes play out. And then the lack of depth to these characters, the backstory that's given to us by exposition-filled monologues, the characters essentially looking at the camera and saying, you want to know where I came from? Stick around for the next 30 seconds. They didn't do that, but they might as well have done that. And it's ridiculous, right? But sometimes you can embrace that in a movie like this. I mentioned the MacGuffin, the data key that can shut down cities. At one point they say, launch a nuclear attack. World War III is imminent. And the stakes are high with something like that, but I never felt that, right? I was never on the edge of my seat. There was no intensity that was coming from the story because it was just so poorly constructed. It felt like a hodgepodge of scenes put together because there's just no depth to any of these characters. And I believe they're counting on the likable actors to sell them, but I was just seeing Jessica Chastain. I was just seeing Sebastian Stan. There is a relationship of some sort that, again, is told to us at the beginning. We get no depth, no exploration there whatsoever. And Chastain and Stan, their story is so quick, so poorly fleshed out, learning nothing about them in the process. When we finally get some of these moments that happen a lot quicker than I expected, I didn't really feel anything. I was never attached. That's the point I'm going to keep coming back to, is these moments will hit and I'm supposed to be going, gasp. But I'm not going gasp. I'm yawning. Penelope Cruz is in this film. She's compelling. She plays a therapist who is sent to help out Edgar Ramirez's character. By the way, poor Edgar Ramirez, always being put in these types of movies that just don't really give you anything. And I like him. I continue to like him when I see him on screen, but he's never given anything to do. And that's his character again in this film. And the way that they come together, it's choppy. There's something about the editing here. It feels like they almost weren't able to fill in the gaps, which may not be the case. It may just be the story that was written in the first place. And it comes down to, I believe, poor direction. Now, our director here is Simon Kinberg. He's produced some not-so-great films, but he also produced a lot of the great X-Men movies, something like The Martian. He also directed Dark Phoenix, and I heard that Chastain wanted him to direct this film. Now, watching this movie, and again, I don't know all of the details behind the scenes, I look at the direction here and I just think to myself, why? there could have been a spark within this film. Again, it's not going to make up for the lackluster script, but maybe the direction could have at least given us compelling action scenes, because you can tell they're giving it their all with the choreography, but you can't really see it, and it's all so poorly put together. Not even the action scenes were compelling. So before I give you guys my score, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below if you disagree. All opinions are welcomed here. And if you like this review and you want to support this channel, drop your thumbs up. The 355 or the 355 is bland, poorly shot, and somewhat lifeless. The story is all over the place, and I found it extremely difficult to get invested. It is a shame because the cast is great, but their characters aren't compelling enough to make this film feel any less dull. I'm going at 25% with my score. Again, there's one or two scenes in there where I said, if they would have done this and focused on the more interesting aspects of these characters, it could have been a better film. But unfortunately, everything else falls flat. So, was it worth the drive through the snow? No. But I got Taco Bell on the way back, so I'm feeling nauseous. All right, guys, you're the best. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.